Alright, you know you're in for a treat when you hear that little jingle. How goes it, everybody? Welcome to yet another Sonic the Hedgehog game. We are playing today, obviously, I think you can read the title and the screen, Sonic Spinball. Or Sonic the Hedgehog Spinball, but I don't think anybody's ever called it that. This was a game that was for the Sega Genesis, came out in 1993, and there are a couple interesting things about it. First of all, this was actually developed by an American studio as part of Sega. I guess Sega Technical Institute. Reason being that the Japanese Sega staff was working on Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles. And for that reason, the game has a distinctly American feel to it in terms of the graphics and everything. And in fact, as we'll see, this is the only Sonic game I don't want to say it's the only Sonic game, but the only one that I can think of off the top of my head that has references to the American cartoon shows in it. The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog and then the SatAM or whatever they call it. It's kind of different, and you can tell right away just from the graphics, everything's a little bit grittier, and yeah, it's just different. And I noticed this even as a kid, obviously having no idea that there were different studios involved and whatever. But what is this game? Well, as you can see, it's a pinball game. But in contrast to a normal pinball game, as you would think of it, it's a little bit more difficult to control, in my opinion. And in fact, this is one of the games that I've been dreading the most out of all the Sonic games, as I try to make my way through almost all of them. Because I'm not very good at this one. Part of that is just lack of practice, and part of that is just that it's really hard to control. In fact, I think that's pretty much universally acknowledged, even among the people that are good at it. Not only do you have the pinball thing going on, but because Sonic is not just a ball, he's an entity, you have a little bit of control in how you move through the air, which you think would make it easier to control, but sometimes it doesn't, because to hit these precise angles, you not only have to angle the flippers correctly, but you also have to sort of steer Sonic in the right direction. And you will see that I'm probably going to be messing up a little bit and doing loop-de-loops when I don't necessarily need to be. That's just how it's going to be. So in terms of where you can play this game if you want to, I think this is actually on Steam, not to mention it's in pretty much every one of those Sega compilations, so easily available. Would I recommend it? That's a good question. This is certainly not one of my favorites, and with the exception of completing this playthrough, probably not one that I would go back to too much. But it is interesting for what it is, and certainly is a little bit different. There's also a Game Gear and a Master System version, which I've never played, and I'm really not looking forward to having to do those as we move on with the Sonic games. It sounds horrifying. But eventually. Now, another way that you can tell this was produced by an American studio and produced at the same time as Sonic 3 is that although the Sonic story and canon is obviously pretty loose and not really all that in-depth, there's certain things in this game that don't make sense in terms of the story. For instance, you have to collect multiple emeralds per level. They're all blue, and it's just to unlock doors and stuff. You can very much tell that the people that made this didn't have too much of an idea of what the story was supposed to be. But you can't necessarily blame them for that because, a lot of the story, so to speak, I'm doing air quotes, because again, narrative has never been Sonic's strong suit, even in modern Sonic times. A lot of that hadn't really been established that well until Sonic and Knuckles, so can't necessarily fault him for it. But, oh, here we go. Bouncing all over. Now, I don't have a huge amount of knowledge when it comes to the history of this game, just what I kind of looked up before doing the playthrough so that I could talk about it. Apparently, when the game came out, it received mixed reviews, which I think is pretty appropriate. According to what I saw, basically the critics thought, oh, it's a neat idea, but control-wise, yeah. And I was, on that note, I never actually beat this game as a kid. I got pretty far. I was shocked to find, as I was doing practice runs and finally beat this game now in 2020, there are only 4 levels. But man, if you don't know what you're doing, even just one level can take you a long time. You'll notice that the episode, or the video, is about 40 minutes long. That's how long it took me to beat it. You could certainly do it way faster than that. Now, another thing that goes with the more American aesthetic of this game, and I'm talking like 90s American video games and TV shows, is the grittiness, which I kind of mentioned already, but when we get to the bosses are actually really disturbing. And you'll see what I mean as we get to the first one. They're just really weird and kind of creepy, which is kind of a plus, I guess. You know, a lot of the Sonic games tend to be kind of goofy in terms of the bosses. I'm talking like Eggman or Robotnik driving at you with like a car that has a hammer on the front of it. No, these are a little bit weirder, like this first boss here. Assuming I can get up to him. Yep, just racking up the score here. Like, look at that. Isn't that actually really terrifying? I don't know. To me it is. I still think he's weird and just really creepy. But again, I don't consider that a bad thing. Okay, yep. Now, one thing that kind of sucks here, and I'm going to try to avoid this as we go through, is if I were to fall through the ground here, like between the flippers, I could be thrown back to the start of the level and have to make my way all the way back, and that's one point of serious frustration in this game. Here we go. Yeah. Comboing. Boom. There's a neat little, dang it. A neat little extra way to kill him here. See if I can nail it. And there we go. Boom, 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 boom. Aha! Yeah, so that is certainly one point of frustration in this game. You can get all the way to the top, because most of the levels do have you going from bottom to top, which makes sense. You can be thrown all the way back to the start, and yeah, not so fun. You get a lot of points in this game, too. Look at that, 15 million points in start of level 1. Alright, so in between each level, you have these pinball portions. It sounds weird to say that in a game that is a pinball game, but actual pinball. And this is going to be interesting, because pay attention to the characters that come out of these little pods. They are straight from the American TV shows or the Archie comics. Except for that monkey. I have no idea who the monkey is supposed to be. See, that's, I think her name is Bunny. We got Pink Sally. That's a throwback. Rotor. I don't remember who else is in there. Tails is going to be in there somewhere. Now on this part, you don't actually have control of the ball, as you can control Sonic through the air. But you do have the option to tilt the table by pressing all the flipper buttons. Oh, random bird that doesn't have a name. Flicky, I guess. And some weird dog guy. Maybe that's a character? I don't remember him. I was into the Archie comics when I was a kid, though. I had quite a few of them. Come on. Last one's got to be Tails, right? There we go. I do like the little reflection of Sonic in the background. And his hands actually move as you hit the flippers. It's kind of cool. But you can see from the sprite work there, he very much looks like the American Sonic as well. Alright, level 2. Now I suppose it's worth mentioning, I mention this in every Sonic game that I play, because it always is true. The music is very good in this game. Again, the music is good in every single Sonic game. Even Sonic games that are bad games have good music. To my knowledge, I don't think there's ever been a Sonic game with bad music. Correct me if I'm wrong. The music in this one was done by Howard Drawson. I think that's how you say his last name. He also did music for Sonic 3. So he is a well-respected Sonic music alumnus, I guess you could say. By the way, there is a perfect condition if you get all the rings in the level, and you can do like a secret bonus stage. Unfortunately, I have no interest whatsoever in doing that, so if you want to see that, then I'm sorry. Alright. Actually getting through level 2 a little bit more quickly. I think I'm going to get more in the hang of things as we go through. Now, I think on this one, there's actually lava at the bottom. So, unlike in... didn't mean to do that, but that works out. Unlike in the previous level where, you know, you just fall down and can jump back up. Not necessarily the case this time. By the way, I was shocked to find out as I was doing my practice runs that I mentioned earlier, this game has only 4 levels. Insanity, because when I was a kid, I remember sitting here and playing this for hours, and I don't think I ever made it past level 3. So I never actually knew how many levels there were. Oui. Mm-hmm. Alright, I guess we're gonna bust the cork, as it says there. Or we'll just keep spinning in circles, that works too. Right. So as I was researching a little bit more of the history of this game, there was a weird quirk that happened in the development right before the game was going to ship, and most of this is from like Wikipedia or Sonic wikis and stuff, so don't consider me any sort of Sonic lore master. Apparently the team that was developing it was told that Sega didn't actually have the rights to the Sonic the Hedgehog theme, which is why the Sonic the Hedgehog theme is not actually in the game. Kind of weird. So apparently, Howard Drawson had to write a new theme song in about 2 hours. Which, all things considered, yeah, good job. Here we go again. Isn't that just really creepy? I swear, every boss in this game is just really, really creepy. Alright. Same thing here as in the previous level. Were I to fall down to the bottom, I would just have to start over. Now granted, the boss would keep whatever damage I had done, but yeah, we're going to avoid that at all costs. I gotta say though, level 2 went a little bit more smoothly than level 1. Nope. Alright. You know, another thing I didn't do is I believe there's actually a turbo mode in the options. Funnily enough, I didn't even look at those. Perfect. But I think normal speed is just fine with me. Well, there's level 2. Rack up the score. Again, creepy. Really, really creepy. So in one of these, I'm sure I'm going to have to bump the table at some point. Generally, like I said, I'm not super proficient at these, so I could probably do a little bit better at them if I learned how to bump the table. But for the most part, I'll just be using it to... that's not what I'm trying to do, but it looks impressive, I guess. Anyways, though, yeah, I'll bump the table to avoid losing a ball, but that's about it. Come on, it's got to have like one more hit. Dang it. There we go. Andy Grimm. Alright, level 3. So a few more tidbits about the game. Apparently the team that designed it, from Sega of America, were actually surprised at how well it turned out. They basically said that they didn't have any time to polish it, which is kind of true. Remember, this was on a tight deadline, as I mentioned, because the Japanese team was working on Sonic 3, which was not going to be out in time for Christmas, I believe. So they had to do this one. In fact, the page that I'm looking at right now says that they developed this game in 2 months, which is pretty insane. That's some serious crunch time. So when you look at it that way, this game's kind of a masterpiece. But I don't think anyone's ever called Sonic Spinball a masterpiece. Oh, here we go. We were going for Sonic the Hedgehog line there. Shouldn't it have been a way past cool slide instead of an ultra cool slide? Something 90s kids. It does kind of make you wonder, though, like, if they had had 6 months, like literally 3 times as long to develop this game, how different would it have looked? I imagine we probably would have gotten more levels, but personally, I'm glad the game doesn't overstay its welcome. Okay. Not what I meant to do. Okay, that'll work. You know, I'm sure that there are people that are just godlike at this game and can do things consistently. For me, that's not really the case, and probably if I practiced a lot more, you know, I could get there, but I feel there are other games that deserve my attention more. But hopefully I've put together a pretty decent showcase of the gameplay here. You know, most of these games are not so much about my gameplay, although I like my gameplay to be good, but it's more about showing off the game itself. Yes, be free, my friends. Funnily enough, as I was doing this, I totally forgot there was an emerald there. Some of these it had been a while. And although I did practice runs, depending on the level, I did more or less of them. Okay. Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. There we go. See what I mean about the emeralds, though, right? It's like, oh, we have 5 blue emeralds in this level. That makes sense. Somebody that really cares about Sonic lore, and again, I'm using lore in air quotes, would be very upset. Okay, let's get down now, please. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, so I think I need to go to the right now. Move it. Tell that to the... Oh, once again, didn't mean to do that, but that worked out in my favor. And I remember having a heck of a time with this part, because this dude gets in your way and knocks you down. Ooh. And when you fall there, you typically end up going to the left and having to start over. Just got kind of lucky there. Ooh, kind of lucky twice in a row. Go, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so now, oh. I swear it's not on purpose. We're gonna be stuck here for about 20 minutes. Come on. You can make it, Sonic. Okay, that works for me. Okay, and we just go up from here. You'll notice that the the movement when you're actually just standing on the ground is really, really poor. It does not feel like a Sonic game at all. Like, it's almost as bad as Sonic 4, but not quite. I'm always amazed when I hear people defending Sonic 4. If you like it, that's fine. I don't. To me, Sonic 4 is like Sonic 06 in two-dimensional form. Eventually, however, we will be doing Sonic 4 on the channel. It's another one that I've been sort of kind of practicing, not all that much, but there we go. So even this boss, the boss itself is not really that disturbing, but the fact that the animals go in and you see their skeletons like that, that's kind of weird. There we go. That's a pretty good rhythm. Okay, now we have to get inside the middle, which I always have trouble with. Yep, here we go. It starts. There is a way to get in there and kind of bounce around, but I always mess it up. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. So close. This is probably the worst boss in the game, in my opinion. There we go, get him. No. If you've ever played this game, I'm sure you feel my pain right now. Yes. Alright, we'll move on to our next bonus stage. As we continue adding on the score. Here's another character from American Sonic, that being Scratch, from The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. You know, I know that The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog gets a lot of hate because you compare it with the other Sonic the Hedgehog show, but it is kind of an underrated show in a lot of ways. Especially the Sonic Says portions, of course. Who knows, if I hadn't watched those, I might have crawled inside a washing machine. So there, I had to bump to save myself there. This is going much more smoothly than the previous one. Gotcha. Almost indeed. And all the same people got captured again somehow. Alright, so I don't know if I mentioned it yet. We're moving on to level 4, which is the final level. Yeah, there are only 4 levels in this game. That's some good sprite work there. That looks pretty nice. And as I was doing my practice runs, I was playing this level, and I'm pretty sure I never made it here as a kid. I'm pretty sure I was always stuck on level 3. In an odd sort of way, this level reminds me of the main level, I guess you would call it, from Sonic Crackers. If you don't know what that is, we'll get to it eventually on the channel. But it's got this, like, obviously it's like an airship, but I don't know. It's kind of cool. And here, once again, we do have lava below, so don't fall down. There we go. Alright, so we talked about the game's development, we talked about its origins. So how was it received? Well, as I mentioned at the beginning, mixed reviews. Most of the reviews of the time praised the idea more than the execution. Mostly it was down to the controls, which I've already kind of mentioned. It's very difficult to control. In my opinion, and clearly in other people's opinion as well. Basically, it was A pretty decent pinball game and a poor platformer was another criticism leveled at it. And my personal favorite quote, because it certainly applies, was, let me see if I can find it here. So, it's a cool idea having Sonic act as a pinball. However, he often acts more like a leaden marble than a pinball, which I definitely agree with. See, that's cool though, the graphics there, how it kind of changes from space to back to clouds as you go further up or further down. Now, according to what I'm reading here, another one of the reviewers said that there wasn't much replay value because there were only 4 levels. A valid criticism, however, I never knew that there were only 4 levels until just recently. But I suppose there isn't really much of a reason to replay it other than just beat it faster or get a higher score, I guess. And you know, it's funny, as I try to remember games' prices from back in the day, I really don't, because back then most of these were like birthday presents and stuff. Because I was a child of the 90s, and back then obviously didn't have a source of income, so most games were presents. So I can't actually remember how much games were in the day, this one specifically. But as I looked back on some of those, I was actually pretty surprised at how expensive some games were back in the day. And I suppose had you paid $50 for this, yeah, that's a little steep. Granted, you can get it now for just a few bucks. Or for free, if you know where to look. Wink, wink. I can't go that way yet. You know, as I was researching this game, I think I remember seeing, and if so, I'm not happy about it, that I'm going to have to play this one. Was there a Game Boy Advance port of this game? I think there was, or it might have just been in one of the collections. I really hope, because, oh my gosh. I briefly tried the Game Boy Advance port of Sonic 1, and it is as bad as they say. It is as bad as they say, and then some. Although, truth be told, I'm actually kind of looking forward to playing through that one. I think it'd be kind of funny. If you stuck around my channel for a while and looked at some of the games that I've played, I tend to have a thing for bad games sometimes. Thinking specifically of like Ernest Evans, which is one of my favorite games, and is legendary for being one of the worst games ever made. Oh, come on, we're almost there. Gotta say, though, it's actually gotten smoother as we've gone on, right? Yep, yep. Perfect. Alright, all we gotta do is make our way to the very top, and should be good to go. Nice, nice. Great. It always weirded me out in this game how the spin dash sound was all different. Alright, this boss, unlike most of the other ones, is not all that self-explanatory. What you gotta do is you got to hit this little plunger thing here. And what that'll do is disable Robotnik's defenses. He has like a claw that grabs you. He has these wind socks that chuck you out the side of the area. You have to start over. With the rather amusing line, "Smell my socks." That's a very 90s American television sort of insult there. Alright. And if you do what I just did and accidentally hit the plunger again, you have to start over because it will reactivate his defenses. It's okay though. We're fine. We're still making pretty decent time on this stage. Now, another thing that I found kind of amusing... Oh. Gotta hit it one more time, obviously. Was that this game has multiplayer. However, the multiplayer is like, you take turns. And I remember looking at the back of the box and it being like, up to 4 players can fight a whole new generation, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, technically 4 players can do it, but it's essentially the same thing as you just passing the controller in between turns. But hey, I guess it's fine. Come on. You see what I mean? Like how awkward the controls are when you're just walking. Oh, oh. It's alright, this is cool. Yeah. I think that's pretty awesome, personally. So once we've done this game, actually now that I think about it, I think I've actually recorded all of the Genesis Sonic games. I may not have uploaded them all yet, because the sponsor of this channel, as I think I've mentioned before, is my 40-hour-a-week full-time job. I tend to record these as I can, and then commentate them later. So at that point, I mean, we've already started doing some of the Game Gear games. I need to get some of the Master System ones up. Oh, come on. Guess I gotta hit it again. Some of them are going to be trickier. Like a lot of the 3D Sonic games I've never even played. So I'm going to have to practice those a little bit before we upload them, but it's fine. And I probably will end up doing like Sonic 2 and Knuckles, but maybe just not do a commentated version since I've already done a Sonic 2 playthrough. Just do like a long play. Yes, yes, loop-de-loop. Got him. There is a playlist that has all just Sonic long plays on my channel. Goodbye, Robotnik. So that was the game. You can definitely beat it a lot faster than that, but for me, that's a good time. So, yeah, there you have it. Sonic the Hedgehog Spinball. Would I recommend it? I would recommend that you try it. Maybe don't go out of your way to procure it, but I think you'll have a reasonable time. 153 million. That's got to be some sort of not record. Here's a classic Sonic staple. I do like the design of Tails' little plane. It's like a glider. Kind of different. And there he goes. I'm sure that's the last we'll be seeing of him until the next game. Alright everybody, I want to thank you very much for watching. This has been Sonic the Hedgehog Spinball. Probably next week I'll be uploading a long play version, all the way through, no commentary, that kind of thing. If you enjoyed this one, feel free to check out my channel for more Sonic and other stuff. And I think that's pretty much all I had to say, so I will see you on the next video. Until then, everybody, I'll leave you with the credits.